Hello students, welcome to All Force e-learning junior intermediate English class. This is VMR lecturer in English. Previously I taught you lessons and poems and stories. The part which is left in junior intermediate is grammar. I think you have listened to lessons, poems and stories which have been taught by us. So dear students, for grammar in intermediate first year there are 60 marks and a student can secure 60 out of 60. So the grammar topics you have in first year, here is a display. Just you have a glance. 40 marks for answers, annotations from lessons, poems and stories, and the remaining 60 marks for grammar. These are the grammar topics. Reading comprehension. There will be two comprehension passages. One is seen and the other one is unseen. 8 marks, 4 marks for each comprehension passage. Next is functional grammar. In functional grammar, you have articles, prepositions, tenses, active voice, passive voice, direct, indirect speech, degrees of comparison, question tags, correction of sentences and parts of speech. Each topic carries 4 marks. Okay, and you have other part, that is reading and study skills. In that you have missing letters, that is spellings, silent letters, that is silent consonants, meanings, phonetics, syllables, odd sounds and transcoding information. That means information transfer. Text to diagram, diagram to text. A text is given, for that you have to draw a diagram, and a diagram is also given. By understanding the diagram, you have to write a passage. These are the grammar topics you have, my dear students, in first year English. Dear students, please remember, the great pleasure in life is doing what others say you can't. The great pleasure in life is doing what others say you can't. Suppose anybody says you can't speak English, you have to take it serious and you learn English and you can become an excellent speaker in English. Then that success gives you immense pleasure. I have already taught you the lesson spoken English and broken English, in which it was clearly revealed that anybody can speak English. But remember, dear students, speaking English without any mistakes, without any grammatical errors, then that English will have some sort of essence to listen. If you are thorough with grammar, you can speak excellent English. For that, you ought to learn grammar. It is mandatory. And my dear students, let me bring to your notice that you have been learning English grammar since your childhood. It is my humble submission that you have been learning English grammar since your childhood, but many of the students do not concentrate, due to which they cannot become perfect in English. Learning English will help you at one stage in your career to fabricate your career, to build up your career. English will certainly help you. When you appear for any competitive examinations, then also English plays a significant role, and it is an international language. Every language is adored. Every language has its significance that must be accepted, but as there is globalization, as there are opportunities around the world, which is the common language all over the world, is English. So dear students, not only for the sake of marks, but for the sake of your career build-up, you will have to learn English. Once again, you have a glance. These are the topics you have in intermediate first year English. So you know very well parts of speech, articles, prepositions, and other rewrite as directed you have learnt, and of course you also learnt tenses, but let me take the topic tenses in the first session of our journey. Dear students, please pay attention and just concentrate while I am explaining you, and I explain you very slowly. You just pay attention. So the topic in this session I would like to explain you is tenses. Many of you have an idea regarding tenses. Regarding parts of speech, you know very well. Noun, pronoun, verb, adjective, adverb, preposition, conjunction and interjection. There are 8 parts of speech in English. Which one is used in tenses? If I ask you a question, you indeed say that verb is used in tenses. Do you have an idea about the definition of tenses? Let me define. A verb form or set of verb forms used to convey time of action is called tense. A verb form or set of verb forms used to convey time of action is called tenses. Okay, time, you know very well, time is divided into present time, past time and future time. Likewise, we also discuss tenses under 3 heads, that is present tense, past tense and future tense. Okay, dear students, then I have just told you that verb is used in tenses. What is a verb? You know very well. What is a verb? Verb is a word which describes an action, state of being, and possession. Verb is a word which describes an action, state of being and possession. Let me give an example for action. Suppose I say, I teach English. I teach English. What is the verb in this particular sentence? Teach. It is an action, it indicates the action. Verb indicates an action and state of being. For that, let me give an example. I am a lecturer in English. This indicates the state of being. And the third one is possession. I have many grammar books. I have many grammar books. Verb is a word which describes an action, state of being and possession. This you have already learnt. Okay. Verb has its divisions. Lexical verbs. For instance, let me say lexical verbs. Number 1. And number 2 is auxiliary verbs. Lexical verbs are main verbs. Auxiliary verbs are helping verbs. Lexical verbs are main verbs and auxiliary verbs are helping verbs. Main verbs are divided into again transitive verbs, intransitive verbs, finite verbs, non-finite verbs. Transitive verb. What is a transitive verb? A verb which has an object is called a transitive verb. I drink water. I drink water. Water is an object, therefore drink is a transitive verb. What do I drink? I drink water. The verb which has an object is called a transitive verb. Intransitive verb. I wake up at 5 a.m. We cannot treat wake up here as a transitive verb because it doesn't have an object, therefore it is an intransitive verb. Finite verb means the verb which indicates the tense. I do homework. Do indicates the present tense. I did homework. Did indicates the past tense, like that. Main verbs and auxiliary verbs. So auxiliary verbs, we have a small discussion here. My dear young children, you have already learnt all these things, just a kind of revision you feel, and you must pay attention while learning anything. Remember, auxiliary verbs. Suppose if you take auxiliary verbs, we can divide auxiliary verbs into, again, primary, auxiliaries, and the other one is modal auxiliaries. Again, auxiliary verbs are divided into two. Primary auxiliaries. Under this head, we can have different, number one, you take B forms. What are B forms? You know very well. Am, is, are, was, were. Am, is, are, was, were. These are B forms. And next, if you take do forms, do, does, did. Next, you take H forms. They are have, has, had. The verb must be in its past participle form after the auxiliary verbs have, has, had. Then you have modal auxiliaries. Here, shall, should, will, would, can, could, may, might, need, dare, ought, use it to. 24 helping verbs. So let me read out very fast. When you divide, it becomes very easy to remember. B forms, am, is, are, was, were. Do forms, do, does, did. H forms, have, has, had. Modal auxiliaries, shall, should, will, would, can, could, may, might, must, need, dare, ought, use it to. 24 helping verbs are there. And besides 24, you have 3 more. That is be, being, been. When a sentence is transformed from active voice to passive voice, these are helpful. For instance, let me say, I can lift the box. What is its passive voice? The box can be lifted by me. Being is used in progressive tense, continuous tense. Suppose she is writing the exam. The exam is being written by her. And been is used in perfect tenses. R.K. Narayan has written many novels. Many novels have been written by R.K. Narayan. So like this, these three are used. You count 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, 23. Am, is, are, was, were, do, does, did, have, has, had, shall, should, will, would, can, could, may, might, must. So these are the 24 helping verbs, and besides 24 helping verbs, you have 3 more. Simply you have to by heart them. Without helping verbs, sentences seem to be absurd. I go to college is correct. Can we say I going to college? No, that's wrong. I am going to college. She does homework, that is accepted. Can we say she done homework? No, she has done homework. Here has is a helping verb. In the same way, am is also a helping verb. Helping verbs are very much useful. Dear students, just have a glance and read them loud, with which you can easily remember them and you can instill them into your brain, and they will be indelible. Just have a glance for an instance. I have told you in the beginning the definition of the tense. A verb form or set of verb forms used to convey time of action is called tense. The actions that take place at different times. What am I doing now? I am teaching you grammar. That means the action that is taking place at the time of speaking, present continuous tense. I teach English daily. This is a regular action, therefore simple present tense. Yesterday at this time I was teaching means past continuous tense. I shall be teaching at this time tomorrow, future continuous tense. So like that, according to the time, there are 3 tenses. They are present tense, past tense, and future tense. Present tense, past tense and future tense. We have a clear discussion on every tense, and these 3 tenses are again divided into 4 categories: simple present, present continuous, present perfect, present perfect continuous. So in the same way, simple past, past continuous, past perfect, past perfect continuous. Like that, simple future, future continuous, future perfect, future perfect continuous. There are 12 tenses altogether. I assure you, my dear students, those who are thorough with 12 tenses, they can definitely speak very good English. Don't worry about marks. You certainly get full marks. Learn grammar well. That will be helpful to you. Different tenses: simple present, present continuous, present perfect continuous tense. So we can easily read out the structures. Let me read out the structures of all tenses at a glance, very fast. Simple present tense, subject plus V1 plus object. Present continuous tense, subject plus am is or plus V4 plus object. Present perfect, subject plus have or has plus V3 plus object. Present perfect continuous tense, subject plus have or has plus been plus V4 plus object. Like that, simple past, subject plus V2 plus object. Past continuous tense, subject plus was or were plus V4 plus object. Present past perfect, subject plus had plus V3 plus object. Past perfect continuous tense, subject plus had plus been plus V4 plus object. Like that, simple future, subject plus shall or will plus V1 plus object. Future continuous tense, subject plus shall or will plus B plus V4 plus object. Future perfect, subject plus shall or will plus have plus V3 plus object. Future perfect continuous tense, subject plus shall or will plus have plus been plus V4 plus object. Here V4 is nothing but V1 plus ing, that is continuous form. Every verb has 4 forms: present form, past participle form and present participle form. The students are expected to be thorough with verb forms. Then only they can write correct answers and they can speak correct. So that is the thing. So this is pertaining to the division of tenses. Now let's have the explanation of each tense, dear students. Just you take present tense. In this present tense, first we have to discuss simple present. What is the structure of a simple present tense? You know very well. Subject plus V1 plus object. We add here S, ES, IES. Suppose I write one example. I speak English. So you will have to take with she. You have to add here she speaks English. I speak English, she speaks English. I go to college, she goes to college. Okay. S, ES, IES. We have to add. I try, TRY, try. She tries, TRIES. So its negative structure is subject plus do or does plus not plus V1 plus object, and the interrogative structure is do or does plus subject plus V1 plus object as an interrogative sentence. As it is an interrogative sentence, it ends with a question mark. Here you have to take I, we, you, they, and all plural nouns. We take do not plus V1. I do not speak English. Object may be or may not be. I do not speak English with object. I do not go to college. Here it is not an object. Extension of the sentence. We do not speak English. You do not speak English. They do not speak English. Boys do not speak English. Girls do not speak English, for instance. So if you take the other one is he, she, it, and singular nouns. So here we have to take does not plus V1. He does not, she does not, it does not, and Ramu does not, Radha does not. He does not speak English. Radha does not speak English. Like that we can take. And interrogative. Do you speak English? Do they speak English? Do people speak English? Does she speak English? Does he speak English? Does Ramu speak English? Does Radha speak English? Do or does come in the beginning. The structures should be at the tip of tongue. You must be thorough with all the structures. Very fast you should be able to read out. Like that you can read out many number of sentences. I drink coffee. I do not drink coffee. She plays cricket. She does not play cricket. Does she play cricket? You love India. Do you love India? You don't love India. They play cricket. They do not play cricket. Do they play cricket? I love my parents. I do not love my parents. Do I love my parents? She eats non-veg. She does not eat non-veg. Does she eat non-veg? They write the exam. They do not write the exam. Do they write the exam? Like that, go on reading. Go on making number of sentences with which you will get fluency. You will get perfection. One is structure. Second one is sentences. You fix a day for that. Go on reading. Definitely you will become perfect. This is pertaining to simple present tense, only the structure. Only the structure. We will have to discuss the contexts, that means uses. Where do we use simple present tense? Where do we use simple present tense? Do you have any idea, my dear students? It is indeed you have an idea, because you have been learning English grammar since your childhood. Number 1. Simple present tense is used to express universal facts. Universal facts and general facts. Universal facts and general facts. Let me read out some examples. The sun rises in the east. You know very well. The sun sets in the west. You take anywhere. In India, the sun rises in the east, and in America also the sun rises in the east only. That is a universal fact. Stars shine at night. Water boils at 100 degrees centigrade. Water freezes at 0 degrees centigrade. Oil floats on water. The earth revolves around the sun. These are all universal facts. General facts also we can take. Girls like flowers. Children eat chocolates. These are all general facts. Sometimes a sentence is revealed in passive form also. For example, English is spoken in many countries. Who speak English? People speak English. When it is transformed to passive voice, we have to express the sentence in simple present tense only. That is, English is spoken in many countries. Telugu is spoken in 2 states now. The camel is called the ship of the desert. Vegetables are sold in the market. Okay, dear students, these are all universal facts and general facts. Universal facts and general facts should be expressed in simple present tense only. Okay, then you take the second one, that is habitual actions. Routine actions. I go to college daily. We visit Tirupati every year. She eats non-veg every Sunday. They go to temple regularly. She reads the Hindu daily. Habitual, routine and daily actions we express in simple present tense. And you take the third one, that is decided or planned future actions. Decided or planned future actions. The CM visits our college next week. I go to Hyderabad tomorrow. Tomorrow indicates the future, but we can express decided or planned future actions in simple present tense. Okay, and the next one is to express one's profession. To express one's profession. Balu means Balasubramanyam. What is the profession of Balasubramanyam? He sings songs. That means Balu sings songs. Prabhas acts in movies. A barber cuts hair. A teacher teaches lessons. A potter makes pots. A lawyer argues cases. A doctor treats patients. To express one's profession, we use simple present tense. Okay, dear students, and next one is in quotations and sayings. In quotations and sayings also we use the simple present tense. For example, practice makes man perfect. All that glitters is not gold. Slow and steady wins the race. Like this, you can take any quotation and observe the verb. In that, the verb is in simple present tense only. In saying, Gandhi says, the words of Gandhi are eternal. That means Gandhi says, truth is God. John Keats says, a thing of beauty is joy forever. And also in announcements. In announcements, the tense of the verb should be simple present tense only. The program starts at 5 p.m. The class begins at 8 a.m. This is an announcement. In announcements, the tense of the verb is simple present tense. Okay, dear students, still we have some more to learn about simple present tense. In the next session, I'll explain you. My dear students, tenses topic is very, very important. If anybody is thorough with tenses, they definitely speak good English. So, I express my heartfelt gratitude for listening to my lecture and watching the video. We meet again soon. Till then, goodbye.